Okay, good morning, class. Now we will start. We have covered geographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, psychographic segmentation, and behavioral segmentation. Now, today we will see in detail what do you understand by behavioral segmentation. This method of segmentation uses consumer behavior aspect for dividing the market into various segments. Consumers differ their ways of usage and faithfulness of a product. Dividing consumers into different groups based on behavioral aspect can help in appreciating their uniqueness and its market implications. Now we will see the important parts which is called as usage quantity, occasions, loyalty and benefit sort. So behavioral segmentation can be seen or studied using the usage quantity. The consumers in the market can be divided on the basis of usage quantity. One of the easiest way to arrive at this decision is by making the market into light users, heavy users, medium users, etc. So the users which are heavily using the products can be bifurcated in the heavy part. Similarly, if the users are utilizing the products and services once in a year or only sometimes, such users will be segmented in the light usage quantity. The next is occasion. Marketers do not pre-specify the occasion of consumption of a product. Hence, a product category could be used on various occasions. Market can therefore be segmented on the basis of occasions. Occasions can also be linked to the seasons. For instance, the consumer durables, the home decor, the wall paint are linked with the festivals in India. So many times at the time of festivals, we are getting different type of advertisement. Like Asian Paints advertisement are for a particular occasion. Or Diwali is the biggest festival in India, and always this Diwali is connected with Moti soap. Titan has also promoted watch buying for gifting. Then we will come to loyalty. There are buyers who would never move away from their preferred brand. Such type of customers are called as loyal customers to a particular brand. They are called as true or hard lawyers. Consumers do not care about what brands they consume and they switch from one brand to another very easily. Just because of some attractive offers from another brand, consumers are switching their existing brand and they are buying or purchasing products of other brand. Such type of consumers are called switchers. So consumers can be divided into two parts. One is loyal customers, those are hard loyal to the brand, and another consumers are switchers, which are easily switching the products or services. Loyalty based segmentations has gained importance lately because loyal consumers are more profitable. So, marketers or companies are designing loyalty cards and reward programs tools to gauge and manage the loyal customers. Next part is benefits sort. Consumers may seek different benefits from a product. The segment includes seekers like social benefits, protection benefits, economic benefits, etc. So consumers are getting benefits from the products or services. For instance, we can take example, two groups of customers in the real estate market are investors and home buyers. Investors are buying homes to simply multiply their investment, whereas home buyers buy the house to live in the dwelling. So same they are purchasing houses, but one is for the purpose or benefit sort is investing and getting money, and for other customers buying home is for living or utilizing. So this is about benefit sorts. Similarly, some people buy golds and diamond jewelries as invest and some buy to utilize or consume. Now, basis for industry. Before that, we will again switch to this comparison of GDPB. So segmentation based suppose is a demographic profile. Then we can take example or brief explanation like this. Quantifiable population characteristics such as age, gender, income, education, social economic status, family size or situations. Typical segmentations which are called as young segmentation or upwardly mobile, prosperous or professionals, or double income, no kids, or full nesters or empty nesters. Such type of demographic profile can be segmented. The next is geographic, which are simply explained by the physical location or region, that is country, state, region, city, suburb, and postcode. New Yorkers, Indians, remote people, urban people, rural background people, outlook, Australians, inner city dwellers. Such type of segmentations are the examples. Psychographic segmentation, mainly based on the lifestyle, social and personality characteristics, typically include basic demographic descriptions such as socially aware, traditionalist, conservatives, active, club going young professionals, etc. Behavioral segmentation, purchasing habits, consumption and usage habits of the consumers, need based benefits sought, usage occasions, frequency of purchase, customer loyalty, and buyer readiness. Such type of explanation can be given for behavioral segmentation. We can take example of tech savvy people, heavy users, enthusiastic peoples, early adopters, opinion leaders, luxury seekers, price conscious people, quality conscious people, etc. Probably Probably the best approach to understand a different segmentation basis is to view some of the examples, like for age group we can say pre-teen, teen, young people, adult people. For generations we can say baby boomers, generation X, generation Y, generation millennium, etc. For gender we can bifurcate like male, female. Marital status we can say married, single, widowed. Family size we can say only couple, small family, large family, joint family. For occupation we can say farmer, unskilled, professionals, and so on. For education, we can bifurcate like high school education, graduated, PG, PG and above. For ethnic background, we can say African, American, Japanese, Asian. Religion wise, we can bifurcate like Hindu, Muslim, Christian, etc. So this is about demographic profile. Geographic profile we can divide on country basis like India, England, Australia, and so on. Region wise we can say North India, South Indian people, West Indian, Middle East. Such type of bifurcation we can do. City wise, Pune people are different than Nagpur people, and Chennai and Delhi, so on. Urban and rural we can bifurcate like rural area and urban area. Climate wise we can bifurcate like tropical region, dry region, alpine region, and so on. So this was about demographic and geography. Psychographic we can bifurcate on the basis of life cycle like family, social, sporty, travel, education. Value wise we can adopt like some people are only buying swadeshi type of thing. Some people are buying only branded and foreign products only. So life cycle and values. Social class, upper class, middle class, and lower class we can bifurcate. Personality or self concept wise, ongoing, creative, initiator, serious type of personality we can give as examples. Then activities, interests, and opinions, which is also called as AIO. Then various hobbies, sports, and interests. Depending on that, we can segment the market. Lastly, is behavioral we have just seen. So occasion-wise, birthday, anniversary, Valentine's Day. Then products can be different. Recently, only Valentine Day was there, and Cadbury have brought heart shape type of Cadbury chocolates. In between, there is a heart type of thing. So such type of products also on different occasions can be launched by the marketers. Then buying stage, ready to buy, gathering information only. So such type of customers are always there. Then user status, regular user, occasional user, or never using the products. Usage rate can be middle, light, or heavy. Loyalty status can be occasional switcher, regular switcher, or hard lawyers. Brand knowledge, strong knowledge about brand, some knowledge about brand, or no brand knowledge at all. Such type of bifurcation or segmentation we can do. Shopping style, that can enjoy shopping, functional shopping, or avoid shopping. And involvement level can be medium, low, and high. So this was about in detail segment for basis of market segmentation for consumer base. So there will be always a question on based on this. You can see previous university question paper, always there is a question on GDPP. Now we will see basis for market segmentation, that is for industrial goods. So segmentation business markets is more straightforward than segmenting consumer markets. Businesses may be segmented according to the type of industry, the business size, the business location, turnover of the company, number of employees in the company, company technology, and purchase approach, etc. The criteria for effective segmentation is there are no as such hard formula for evaluating the attractiveness of the market segment, and a good deal of judgment must be exercised. Nevertheless, a number of considerations can be used to assist in evaluating market segments for overall attractiveness. The following is the list. A series of questions may be asked when you are doing the basis of market segmentation for industrial goods. The questions are like, for segment size and growth, you can ask questions like how large is the market for that industry? Is the market segment substantial enough to be profitable? That is, segment size can be measured in number of customers, but superior measures are likely to include sales volume or volume. The next question can be, is market segment growing or contracting? What are the indicators that growth will sustain in the long term? Is any observed growth sustainable? Is segment stable over the time? Segment must have sufficient time to reach desired professional levels or performance level. So these questions we can ask about the company's segment size and growth. The next parameter is segment structure attractiveness. We can ask following questions like, to what extent competitors targeting this market segment? Do buyers have bargaining power in the market? Are substitute products are available for your product? Can we carve out a viable position to differentiate from our competitors? So we having some attractive or different products than the competitors? How responsive are the members of the market segment to the marketing program? Is the market segment reachable and accessible? That is, with respect to distribution and promotion, we can ask this question. The next segment, last segment, is the company objective and resources. So we can ask questions like, is the market segment aligned with our company's operating philosophy? Do we have resources necessary to enter this market segment? Do we have prior experience and this market segment or similar market segments? Or last question we can ask is, do we have the skills and know how to enter the market segment successfully? So this is about the basis of market segmentation for industrial goods. So industry can be categorized like telecom sector, we are saying FMCG sector, then small scale industry, large scale industry, then turnover is in 90 billion or more than 1000 billion. Number of employees are less than 100 or more than 1000. Company is using latest technology or advanced technology or traditional technology, etc. So on basis of that we can segregate or do segmentation in the industrial goods. Now we will start with the next part, but before that I will just say few things about segmentation effectiveness. Then we will start with this five pattern. What is segmentation effectiveness? Segmentation is the process of dividing a market into homogeneous groups based on one or more consumer variables. So I think we all agree with this. One second, I will just admit. Okay. So I will repeat again. Segmentation effectiveness. Segmentation is the process of dividing a market into homogeneous groups based on one or more consumer variables. Hello. However, segmentation. Hello. Hello. Okay. Segmentation is the process of dividing a market into homogeneous groups based on one or more consumer variables. However, segmentation is useful only when it produces groups that are significant for market purposes. Now, six criteria are used to judge the segment effectiveness. These six criteria are similarity, heterogeneity, sufficiency, stability, accessibility, and profitability. One second, I will just add if someone is there. Okay. So first effectiveness product is characteristics is similarity. The requirement of similarity between the consumers within a segment is fundamental. The segmentation process must group consumers in such a way that intra-segment similarity is maximized. What is intra-segment similarity? It implies that the consumers within the segment have similar responsiveness to a given market stimuli. Now next is heterogeneity. Segment variable sometimes creates segment that have high inter-segment heterogeneity. A segment process or segmentation process that breaks the market into different groups, but if consumers in the groups exhibit similar responsiveness to a market stimuli, then in case of then it is a case of super flawless segmentation. Next is sufficiency. Segment may differ in terms of number of consumers contained therein. The number of members in a segment often corresponds with the size of that market. For a segment to be interest to a market, it must have sufficient scope for doing the business. The size of a particular segment can be estimated by looking into available published statistics. The measures often used to gauge the segment sufficiency are expressed in terms of sales and market share. So, depending on the market share of the organization, segment effectiveness can be calculated or can be categorized. The next is stability. The marketer must select a stable and steady segment. These characteristics ensure certainty and assurance that the segment is likely to stay for some duration. Unstable and fickle statements are unpredictable, therefore they are risky. For instance, the fashion segment is erratic and inconsistent and therefore involves risk because fashion keeps on changing. Then the next is accessibility. In accessibility segment increases the cost and thereby becomes unattractive in terms of marketing outcomes. Then last is profitability. Segments are meant to produce surpluses. If for some reason a segment fails to survive, the test of profitability is not worth pursuing. Now, target market strategies or pattern we will see. A company may consider five patterns to target market segments or market selections. These are described as follows. The process of manipulating the marketing mix in terms of differentiating products, a method of communication, and other marketing variables is known as market targeting or target marketing. Market targeting or target marketing should not be confused as it is synonymous to market segmentation. So, market segmentation is different and market target or target market is different. Market segmentation is prelude to the targeting. Therefore, segmentation, a firm divides the market into many segments, but all of them need not form the target market. The target market signifies only those segments that it wants to adopt as its market. Thus, the target market are selected out of the segments form. Now, how to evaluate the market segments? In evaluating markets, any company must look for two factors. First factor is company's objectives and company's available resources. Next is the segment's overall structural attractiveness in terms of the size of the segment, growth of the segment, profitability and scale economics and various type of risk, and risk should be low. Now we will see this five pattern type of thing, which is five patterns of target market selection. Now we have seen that target market is one part from market segmentation. So you can segment the market, and in that market segment you can target your audience or target your customers, and now you will focus on that target customers only. Once a marketer has evolved or evaluated the different segments in terms of their sizes, growth and attractiveness or risk, etc., and found that they are now compatible with the company's objectives and resources, the obvious step is now for far reaching or far selecting the market segment. The five pattern of the target market selection first was put forward by W.F. Abel, Abell, Abel. Abel is the name of the thinker. Now, according to him, there are five selecting steps. Number one is single segment concentration, then selective segment specific specializations. Number three is market specialization. Number four is market number four is product specialization, and number five is full coverage. So single segment concentration, selective segment specialization, market specialization, product specialization, and full coverage. So these are the five. Now we will see one by one. First is single segment concentration. The description is as like this. First of all, we will take example. You must have heard about Rolex watches. Okay, so Rolex watches are very much popular through worldwide, and now they are concentrating on single segment concentration. No other products or no other companies, etc., are there for Rolex watches. No alternative type of things also. So Rolex are there only in watches. So the description is like this: the marketers decide to cater into a single segment only. Also refers to as a concentrated marketing. The marketers understand the needs and wants of the segment and focuses only on one segment. We have taken example of Rolex watches. What are the various advantages? The advantages of single market segmentation is the production cost are lower for the production, distribution and promotional activities. The approach also leads to specialization approach, and specialty for that product or services is developed by the organization. There are greater chances of achieving a strong market presence and becoming a market leader in that particular segment. Now, what are limitations? However, this approach is also suffers various limitations. All the eggs are placed in one basket, and if the segment weakens, the marketer is said to be a finished marketer. The segment's preference may change over the time, and marketer would need to adopt accordingly. A small change in the segment needs and customers' needs, want, and preferences can create a problem for the company. Also, the firm firmly gets entrenched in surviving a particular segment only, and once entrenched, there is a great difficulty if they want to diversify or expand into another segment. So these are various description, examples, advantages and limitations for single market concentration or single segment concentration. Now we will see the next, which is called as selective segment specializations. Now, first of all, we will take examples. Maruti Suzuki cars, soaps and detergents produced by Procter and Gamble, and Unilever, then Tata Group of Hotels. Do you know various type of soap? That is, Lux is produced by Hindustan Unilever, Liril is produced by Unilever. So Moti Saban is also Moti soap is also produced by Unilever. So for Unilever, Dove is the soap, Lux is the soap, Hamam is the soap, and Moti is also soap. So Unilever can be taken as an example of selective segment specialization as far as soaps are considered. The description is like this: the marketers cater into two or few segments with different marketing mixes. It offers a variety of products and services offerings with the distinctive or distinct marketing mixes to the various segments. We have taken the examples like Maruti Suzuki cars or Tata Group of Hotels. Then, what are the various examples? The advantage of selective specializations are that when the marketers cater into different segments, expands. It can expand and achieve economies of scale and operations and gain out the existing synergies between the production operations and various marketing functions. Chances of risk of failing totality are minimized as it is covering as a diversifies coverage. Now here also there are some limitations like the disadvantage of this approach is the marketer who caters to more than one segment may faces a complex and dynamic environment. The marketers need to be strong in terms of market research, then identifying various changing needs, wants, and preferences across the segment. They should adopt the product and services offerings accordingly. Then they should be able to manage positioning strategy for various segments. So this is about the selective market specialization. Then we will cover next, which is called as market specialization. So what is market specialization? We can take example, the various ordnance factories in India exist to cater to meet various needs of defense forces only. So this is the market specialization. Then the description is like this: the marketer deals with only specific market only. The market tries to meet many needs of a particular customer group. The advantages are, the advantage of this pattern is in case of monolistic situations, the marketers has a lot of potential to grow. The market would exist to serve the needs and wants of the particular segment. The focus is on catering the needs of particular market segment only. So the marketer become customer focused totally. Here also a limitation is, the disadvantage of this is if the segment get weakens, then marketer is finished. So this is about market specialization. Product specialization. We will take first of all example, that is Gillette. Now Gillette is for men and for shaving needs of all the men. So they have specialized in a particular product. Now the description is, here the marketers deal with variety or varying products in the same product line. It adopts the product to sell and to sell to several different market segments but in a particular product line only. Example can be said as Gillette. The advantage are, the advantage of this pattern is that the marketers cater to different segments with a single product or varying forms of the same product. If the market can develop specialization and reputation in the same product line. The limitations can be like this. The limitation is that if the product matures or dies, then marketers would not exist. Now, what do you understand by a product mature or dies, that we will learn in last chapter, that is product life cycle. So this is about product specialization. Now we will take a look at the full coverage. The full coverage, we can take examples like uh, n number of products of Coca-Cola Limited. Like there is Pepsi, there is Fanta, then uh, Kinley waters are there. So full market coverage they are offering. So description is like this. Here the marketer caters to the entire market. Full market coverage could assume two forms like differentiated and undifferentiated. Now, one by one, we will see what do you understand by differentiated form and undifferentiated form. In differentiated form, the marketers would operate in the whole market and offers products to various segments. And in undifferentiated form is also known as the mass marketing. Here, the marketers would treat the market as a single segment and offer single product. The market ignores differences among the various segments. The examples of differentiated are the IBM and HP products, and examples of undifferentiated like Pepsi. The various advantages. The advantages with the full market coverage are that a large scale of diversification is possible here, and the chances of risk of failing totality is minimized. The limitations are like this. The limitation is it is difficult for the marketers to be focused specialist in a product category of the market, and it keeps on diversifying the various product lines. Now we can take example here. The single market specialization is like this: P1, P2, P3. There are n number of products or three number of products, for example, we can say here, and M1, M2, M3 are markets. So single market segmentation can be said like this: a single product, that is P2, in a single type of market, that is M1. So here single market segmentation focuses on a single market and only a single product. So they are focusing, that is denoted by yellow dot. Then we will come across selective specialization. Here there are three products P1, P2, P3, and there are three markets M1, M2, M3, and for each and every market a different product line is there. So for suppose for M3 type of market, P1 product is launched. For M2 type of market, P3 product is launched, and for M1 type of market, P2 product is launched by the organization. So this is selective specialization. Depending on the market, selective products are launched by the company. Then we will come across the third, that is product specialization. There are three markets: M1 market, M2 market, M3 market, M4 market. N number of markets are there, but for all the markets same type of product is there, that is P2. Okay, so P2 product is there for all type of markets, so for it is product specialization. Then similarly we can take example of market specialization. So M1, M2, M3 are the three markets, and P1, P2, P3 are the three products. But here in case of market specialization, only all these product variety P1, P2, P3, three varieties are offered only in M1 market. For only one market, three varieties are there. So it is market specialization. And full market coverage, all type of markets P1, P2, P3, and M1, M2, M3. Yellow dots are not specified here, but you can imagine that all this chart is yellow. So for M1, M2, M3 type of markets, P1, P2, P3 type of products are there. So this is about five patterns of target market segments. So I think we will stop here. In tomorrow's lecture, we will see what do you understand by segment marketing, niche marketing, local marketing, and mass marketing. Okay, so if there are any questions, then you